Oh my goodness, guys. Guess what? I filmed this whole video yesterday and I deleted the footage before I finished editing. How stupid of me. Anyway,
Hi my loves, and welcome back to Love Drugstore. This is our second video on this channel. For everyone who tuned into our first one, which was the Get to Know Me, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I received a few subscribers from that first video. Even though it's just a few, I really appreciate everyone who took the time to watch, who subscribed, and also who left me comments. So thank you very much for that first video. So today we're going to jump into our very second video, which is the first 2019 pick up or pass up releases for this year. Now before we get into the pick up or pass ups, I'm going to tell you what's on my eyes today. I have this kind of blue, this bluish look going on, and I use two palettes for this. The first one is my Revolution Live on the Dance Floor Sparkless palette, which was a holiday release in 2017. So it's this black packaging, and I use the blues in this palette. I use this blue on my crease and this blue on my outer V, and also this color up here for a transitioning. So that's what I use for my crease colors. And then for my lid, I use the Juvia's Place Masquerade mini palette, and then I used the blues in this one as well. So I used is it Dahlia? Yeah, Dahlia. I used Dahlia and Zola. Dahlia and Zola. So these two blue at the end there, and also I topped in the middle of my eye just to give it a bit of a sparkle. I topped it with Giza. So that's what I have on my eyes today. So let's just jump into the pick up and pass up. Okay, so this week there wasn't really that much released, which is understandable. We just came back from the holidays, so there's not that much that companies have released just yet. But there is a few things. But before we get into the pick up or pass up for the week, I'm going to actually go through some sneak peeks because we don't have a lot to discuss with the pick up or pass ups. So I'm going to discuss some sneak peeks that came out this week. I'm going to put the, let me shift a little bit. I'm going to put the pictures over here of the of the products that I'm discussing. So the first sneak peek we had this week was from Certify. Now Certify is an indie brand in the UK. They are based in the UK, but they do ship internationally. As you guys know, I only feature brands that ship internationally or have retailers internationally, or have websites in different countries. So it has to be in Europe, America, or the UK. So Certify is based in the UK, but they do ship internationally. They put up a picture on their Instagram of like a blue-green palette. Now this is just a photoshopped image that they put together just to see if people will be interested in the palette that they're thinking of releasing. So the palette looks absolutely gorgeous. Now in my personal collection, the only palettes that I can really get blues and greens from is the ones I just showed you, obviously, to do this eye look, is these two. So I don't really have a lot of blues and greens in my collection, so I am really interested in this palette. I really want Certify to actually release it because it doesn't have wasted space with browns and the typical neutral colors. It's just literally blues and greens, which I am loving. So I am really interested in it, and I hope that they do actually release it. There's no set date or nothing set in stone yet, but they just want to get an idea if people will actually be interested in buying it. So I am interested in trying. The next sneak peek that was given this week was actually from Morphe. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard already. My eyelashes are sticking together. Oh, I'm sure most of you have heard already that Morphe is coming out with a collection called Fluidity. So this is like a range of complexion products that they're releasing in February. No, not February, in January. So they're releasing it on the 17th of January, which is very soon. And it's going to consist of 60 foundations, 30 concealers, 12 powders, and 2 primers. So they are doing inclusivity to the 10th degree. Now, I am very excited to see this because for the longest time, obviously, a lot of us know that brands were not very good with being inclusive with their foundation ranges, especially if you wanted to get a wide range of foundations. You usually had to go to very high-end like Lancome. They were probably one of the first brands that really was more inclusive in their shade ranges. MAC was good. I wasn't really a fan of MAC foundation shade range, but MAC was relatively good. But obviously last year in January we had the whole Tarte Shape Tape foundation like mess that happened, and then I think what's their name, Beauty Blender, they also had some, you know, controversy with their foundation range when they released it, like kind of middle of last year. So I feel like obviously now brands are trying to show that they are inclusive, and it's also funny that I really feel like brands are trying to kind of outdo each other now. Like, let's see who comes out with the larger shade range. Let's see who can come up with 60 or 70. I'm sure we'll get to 100 soon, but I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it. I am, however, mad that it took this long for it to happen, because dark skinned people or very light skinned people have always worn makeup, but it seems that we were forgotten in the mix of things. But yeah, I'm glad to see that they are coming out with more shade ranges so that everyone can get foundation that they need. So yeah, I'm excited for this release. I will be willing to try it as well, especially the foundation and maybe the powders. But yeah, it's releasing on the 17th. We'll discuss it a bit more once it launches. Now, Morphe also has, for those who don't know, 3 websites now, so you don't have to wait for the affiliates or the international brands that they also stock at. So they have 3 websites. They have a Morphe UK website, they have a Morphe Europe website, and obviously they have the MorpheRegular.com website. So yeah, and usually they do release the products at the same time on each of those websites simultaneously. So on the same day that it releases on the US website, it will release on the other 2 as well. So which is really really good. I hope they'll do that with this collection as well. So that's Fluidity, and we'll discuss it a bit more after the 17th. The last sneak peek that was given this week was from September Rose. Now, for those who don't know, September Rose is also another indie brand from the UK, just like Certified, and they released their Slush palette, which was very popular last year. It's a colorful palette. It is a rainbow palette, but it has a good color story, and it really hit it off very well last year. A lot of people bought it. A lot of international people bought it, so they do it ship internationally. I've seen it on YouTubers from America to Europe to obviously UK. So I've seen it in a lot of people's feeds on Instagram and on YouTube. So it's a very popular palette. So after the success of their Slush palette, they decided that they're going to release a Slush 2 palette. So there's no pictures or anything of the palette just yet, but it's the owner said it's going to come in April of 2019. So I'm really interested in this as well, because September Rose is one of the brands I am actually looking to try in 2019. I'm going to do a video next, which is going to be the brands I'm looking to try in 2019. So yeah, September Rose is one of those. So I'm excited to see what the Slush 2 palette looks like, what the color story is going to be, and how it's going to beat the current Slush palette. So that is all we have for the sneak peeks. Let's move on to the pickup or pass. Let's do the pass ups first. The first pass up that I have for this week is from BH Cosmetics. Now the BH Cosmetics released a 3 palettes this week called the Travel Series. There is Love in London, Hanging in Hawaii, and Blushing in Bali. So these are, the Blushing in Bali is a blush and highlighter palette, and the Hawaii and London ones are eyeshadow palettes. Now, they are nice palettes. The Bali one especially, the blush and highlighter one is actually really nice, and I think it will suit a lot of skin tones because there's like an orange in there, there's a light pink, a dark pink, a couple of champagne highlighters, and a kind of like a deeper bronzy highlighter. They are nice, but I just don't really need them in my collection at the moment, so I think I will personally skip on those. They are retailing for $16 each, not euros, $16 each, on the bhcosmetics.com website at the moment. Again, for those who don't know, BH Cosmetics actually has a German website for us who are in the UK or in Europe. So if you are in those two places, try, if you want something a bit earlier, maybe try the bhcosmetics.de site, and they stock, it's their own site for European customers. Now, at the moment, they don't have these palettes on there. If you're interested, you can only get it from bhcosmetics.com at this moment, but that is also a site that you can use. I know that obviously most people in Europe will probably get it from Beauty Bay. But Beauty Bay, sometimes it takes a while for them to get the BH products. But yeah, so either bhcosmetics.com or bhcosmetics.de, you can use those two sites for all your BH purchases. But yeah, I'm going to pass on these palettes, but they are pretty. The next pass up for me would be the new L.V.E palette. Now, L.V.E last year released an 18-pan palette called Opposites Attract, and it did really well. Like, a lot of people bought it, a lot of people were interested in it. I personally saw a lot of reviews of it on YouTube, so they kind of ran with it after that success of the Opposites Attract palette, and the next one they released was called New Classics, and now they're releasing one called 18 Hit Wonders. Now, this is more of a pastel palette. Now, it's got like a lot of, it's like the middle row is very pastel-y, and it's got a few purples and a few neutrals in there as well. Again, visually, it's a really nice palette. I think it has kind of like an 80s theme to it. It retails for £14 on the L.V.E cosmetics.com .co.uk site, and the L.V.E.com site it's $14. So it's 14 each on each site. It's a pretty palette, but I am not really looking to add it to my collection. It doesn't draw me enough to want to add it to my collection, so I think I'm gonna pass on that one as well. Yeah, but it's cute. It's cute. Last release for this week is actually a soft pickup for me. It's the Revolution Beauty primers. Now, they just released last week 4 new primers. There's a hydrate primer, a color correct, a pore blurring, and a mattifying primer. So it's a soft pickup for me because I will be interested in the pore blurring one. I don't really use silicone primers, which is the mattifying is really silicone-y, so I don't really use silicone primers anymore. I don't need hydration because I've got oily skin, and I don't need color correcting. So the only two that I really would get would be mattifying or pore blurring. But because the mattifying is silicone based, I don't really do that anymore. At the moment, I am using the Essence Prime Plus Studio mattifying and pore minimizing primer with black clay. Also, that has a pore minimizing as well. So this does both. So I don't technically need the pore minimizing one, but I will be willing to try it. But yeah, this is really good. If you have an Essence counter near you, do try this. It's really, really good. It has the black clay inside, so obviously that absorbs oils. So I'll put an image here, but it's a really good primer. If you've seen it in your local drugstore, pick it up. It's in the Netherlands. It's only about €3.99 euros, but yeah, I know Essence is in England as well, and also obviously in America. But yeah, I will still be willing to try the pore minimizing one, so I might pick up that one from Revolution. But yeah, that is it for this week. It was thank you guys very much for watching once again, and for tuning in. Please obviously do subscribe. Why not? You know, we're going to discuss makeup, that one question arm and a leg thing. Yeah, so if you want to keep seeing videos from me, please do subscribe, and also head over to Instagram and follow us there if you haven't already, where we'll continue to give you some sneak peeks and new releases and hidden finds. I've found a few things on Amazon and AliExpress that I want to kind of share with you guys. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, loves.